morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tinde Varde Crafts and another episode of my monthly podcast. My name is Bara. I live in Czech Republic, which is a small country in the heart of Europe, and I live here in the second largest city, Brno, in a small flat with my dog and my lovely roommate. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of knitting. For those who are new here, I do a lot of knitting, some crochet, some sewing, and some other crafts. And in these monthly podcasts, I usually only speak about my fiber creations, so crochet and knitting. And for the returning viewers, hello, nice to see you again after a month actually. Last time we spoke was a summer special about the entire summer crafting. So that was a lot. Today we're only talking about 1 month worth of crafting, but I still have a huge pile of things next to me that I'm gonna talk about. So there's a lot of news. As usual, we'll have finished objects, works in progress, and some material acquisitions, so very standard agenda. And maybe before we jump into it, some live updates or no updates, perhaps. I'm still in the process of looking for a job, for a new job, since spring, basically. But last week and the week before, I had quite a lot of interviews, and I currently have three of those completely done, and I'm waiting for some updates. And one of them was already pre-confirmed as positive, and it's a position that I'm really interested in. We're just finalizing some bureaucracy now, which is quite important, so it's still not 100% confirmed. But after a very long while, things seems to look very positive. So fingers crossed. I hope that I'll finally have some really good news very soon. But yeah, today has been a very good day so far, even though it's Monday, so I'm knocking on the wood. I hope that, things will move in the right direction very soon. Anyways, enough about that. We're not here to discuss my job or unemployment. We're here to discuss knitting. So let's jump right into it with some finished objects first. Okay, as usual, I am here with my notes, so I will be looking at them whilst I talk about my finished objects. I have five during 1 month. That's a lot. But a lot of them were like longer projects, so it was more like about the finish line and not about knitting them all during 1 month. But before we jump into it, the usual what I'm wearing. So you saw this cardigan last episode, I believe. It's Bookish Cardi by Boho Chic Fiber Co, I believe. I'll populate the right name in the subtitles or whatever. It's a very lovely design that was in my Make 9. So this is my first finished Make 9 object of this year. I'm not doing very well with fulfilling my plans from January. Anyways, it's from Mota by the Wool Dreamers, which is a Spanish company with local wool. So it's a DK weight, I believe. And it was a very fast knit for me, at least, because I'm used to knit from fingering weight very often, and every time I venture into different yarn weight, I'm always surprised how quickly I'm able to finish things. So this was the case. I really enjoyed it all. The bubbles and the cables and everything were really fun to do. The construction of sweater, I talked about last time, but it was basically knitted back and the two front pieces separately, then sewn together, and then the sleeves were knitted from it. And at the end, you knitted the band for buttons. So yeah, a very pleasant project that I might finally wear now that we have autumn weather. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. And now about the finished object. I will start with the smallest and then I will go to the biggest-ish. So let's start with the usual. Not surprising, I finished a pair of vanilla socks. As usual, this is basic socks that rock pattern. That is a very, very vanilla pattern that starts from the top and goes to the toe. I use two different yarns. One, this self-striping one, is by West Yorkshire Spinners. Their signature 4-ply, and this is one of their Christmas colorways. And this like contrast color was Jawoll from Lang Yarns. This is the second pair that I'm knitting from this main color. Basically, I've been talking about this before as well, whenever I knit socks, I have this issue that when I buy a 100-gram skein of sock yarn, I usually use about 55 grams for one pair of socks, so I'm left with 45, which is not enough for the full pair. So what I do with the second pair is that I usually combine it with some sort of contrast color that I'm using for the heel, for the top, and for the toes, and it works perfectly. I had just a very, very small leftover of this, and yeah, second pair is alive. So this is, and yeah, I'm talking about my size, which is around 37. Yeah, 37. So that's how it works. So yeah, I have a new pair. What it means is that I also cast it on another one, which is again my traveling project. I always have socks with me whenever I go somewhere. So yeah, first finished object, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it, the pattern Basic Socks That Rocks is by Petra Kourilova, and it's for free on Ravelry in both Czech and English. So highly recommend. Second is called The Simple Thing, and it's a gift for a friend, and it's this like mini scarf. Wait, maybe like this. Oh, yep. Anyways, this mini scarf, it's from one skein of DK, I believe, and I had quite big leftover, so maybe even 50 gram would be enough. It's a pattern by Melina Brell. I found it for free again on Ravelry, I believe. And the yarn that I used is colorway. It's by Kaywiknit, which is my friend, and she's a yarn dyer. And she had this collection inspired by Genshin Impact, which is a game on PlayStation or PC. And there is this one character, Venti. He's like a god of freedom and wind, and my friend is a very big fan of this character, so I made her this little scarf. She will receive it very soon. And yeah, it was also fun. Garter stitch all the way through with I-cord borders. So again, a project that was nice for traveling. And I ended up, actually, what I ended up doing is that I kind of altered the ratio, how I decreased and increased the ends. So I ended up with, yeah, my own version of this. Yeah, and it was mindless, it was nice. That was the second object. Third one, now let's move to the bigger ones. Third one will be virtual, so I will post a picture here so we can take a look. I had a commission from a dear friend, basically the same friend who's the creator of this yarn here. Kay. She commissioned an oversized sweater for her husband for his birthday. She wanted something in autumn colors featuring color work, and she wanted it to be really funny. And the requirements for color work was pigs, ducks, leaves, pumpkins, cats, I believe. So what I did was that I took a pattern by Drops that was for free for like color work male jumper. It's called, wait a second, Winter's Night Enchantment. It's the name of the pattern. So I use this as a base for my for the size, for my increases, for the yoke, etc. And then I combined several sources for the colorwork motifs. The main one was by Kaywiknit Pro called Farm Doodle. Those are the pigs, the ducks. Well, I updated the chart from her because in the Farm Doodle there are chicken, I believe. So I just made a few changes to make it look more like a duck. Then I believe the leaves are from there. Chicken are from there for sure. And then the rest were like free patterns that I found on Pinterest and all over the internet, like fancies, etc. So this sweater ended up being the biggest object that I've ever done, I think, because Kay's husband is quite tall, and yeah, the requirement was to make it oversized. So I made a really huge jumper that on me looked like a dress, basically, or like I looked like a child dressed in like adult sweater. So it was fun. I knitted it from DK weight, Drops merino extra fine, and I think with one colorway, the orange one, I didn't manage to find, so that was Drops. That was something else. I'll put it here as well because I can't remember now, and I didn't note it. What's interesting about this sweater is that despite its size, I knitted it in exactly 1 month. I started on the 8th of August and I finished on the 8th of September. I would have been quicker, but around this far from the end of the last sleeve, I ran out of the main color, so I had to order it, and then the shop forgot about the order, or I don't know what happened, so it took them a week to ship it, and then so I had to wait for it. So I would have been even quicker. And then it took like 3 or 4 days for it to dry after I blocked it, after I washed it for blocking. So that was like long, but I didn't count that period in that. Yeah. So that was a very nice experience for me to knit something like that, although since it was a surprise and also the receiver lives quite far from me, I couldn't make any fit checks. So it was a little bit stressful in this matter that I had no idea whether the sweater will fit or not. It fits, but the sleeves are too long. So I'll see if we need to shorten them. So far, the feedback is that he really loves it and he wears the sleeves like rolled over, so it doesn't bother him. So maybe we will keep it this way. But yeah, I'm really happy that it turned out well, that it made the wearer happy, and yeah, it was a nice experience for me as well. So this was also a huge finished object. And then I have 2 more. And I'm wondering which one I will keep as last. Okay, let's do the sweater first. This is called Misty Jumper. It's by Irene Lin. Oh. And it's a very simple yoke sweater that has this interesting detail on the top So basically you cast on with your main yarn, which is DK. Then you make several rows with mohair, and then you continue with your main color. And I've seen a lot of versions of this on online, of course, on Ravelry, and most of them were like with a very similar color shades for both. It looked very soft and nice, and I loved it. But for me, I felt like I need something very contrasty. So first, I decided that I will finally try and use this Tweedy by Hedgehog fibers, which is a DK weight yarn that features these like Tweedy bits, and these are leftover fabrics, I believe, or like fibers. So it's like processing basically waste, textile waste. The other thing that's really interesting is that this glows under UV light, so it's like very interesting level to it. And when I picked this, this colorway is called Coal, I believe. Let me see, Noir. Sorry, Noir. My bad. And I needed to pick a contrast color, and I ended up picking this colorway Azalea, and this is Ito Sensai here and silk. So this is the yarn. I made this sweater very cropped, so I can wear it with skirts and dresses, and I made balloon sleeve, which is part of the pattern, I believe. So there was no update other than, there was no modification other than the length of the sweater that I made on the pattern. And fun bit is that I casted this on for the knitting summer camp on the 23rd of August, and I finished this on the 11th of September. So it took 2.5 weeks. My fastest sweater by far. It was a joy. I enjoyed it. It was mindless enough for me to, you know, work on it whenever I wanted, whenever I socialized or watched TV or etc. And I wear it all the time now. I love it. It's my favorite piece now. Don't listen, please. Yeah, it overshadowed even Bookish Cardi, I'm afraid. And I'm seriously considering to make more, because this is like an absolute perfection. Yeah. So yeah, another finished object. And the last one is a very long-term object that you've seen several times. And I will put my notes aside and I will show you that beast. You might have already guessed what that is. And it's my half and half triangle shawl. Scrappy half and half triangle shawl. It's a very big thingy. It's finally done. I didn't even block it because it kind of blocked itself by its size. So this is one side. This is the other side. I picked the colors very long time ago based on what I have in my scraps and leftovers, and only when I was knitting on it for like months I realized that these colorway so perfectly match Anna and Elsa from Frozen. So I started calling this Frozen, and it's yeah, it's a beast. So the name again, half and half triangle shawl. It's by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern that you can find on their blog. The idea is to have basically this shawl that has like two halves, two triangles. The original version is just two colored. I decided to make stripes, which I love, but the amount of like these you know, yarns, the threads that I had to clean afterwards was significant. let's just say I had a lot of fun with it, except I didn't. So yeah, talking about the materials, it will take a while and I even don't remember all of them yet, but this half I had like a system when every third row is this same main color, this same purple, and that's Sweet Georgia sock yarn. The other ones were either minis or leftovers. So some of them, like this one, this one, this one, were from advent calendars. This one was a sock yarn by Priyatka. I believe this one too. And yeah, there's been some leftovers as well from like different projects that I had. So that's this half. The other one was more about leftovers, less about minis. So the other section is like a lot of grays and blues and whites. So let's see. There's Bish Bush, leftover from my very first sweater. This is Malabrigo Arroyo. This is Priyatka sock yarn, heavy duty sock, I believe. And this is again somehow a main color, so I used almost 100 grams of this one. Then I have some Jawoll, some Filkolana by Arveta, and yeah, the result is like more subtle. There is less colors, but more like leftovers. So it ended up being a fully stash project, and I wear it now a lot. I wear it even with this sweater here, the more colorful version, but it's like a perfect fluff that I can put on myself now that it's really windy, and it keeps me very warm. Yeah. So that's the last finished object that I had. I'm just thinking whether I gave you all the information that I wanted. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It feels really good to finish this one because I casted it on in May, even sooner, at the beginning of the year. So yeah, finally on time for sweater weather and autumn and all those windy days. So yeah, that's it. Let's move to works in progress. Okay, works in progress. Let me see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4. Out of them 3 are new. Is it possible? I think so. I think so. So this is how we're going to do it. I have 4 works in progress. One of them is the new MCAL by Stephen West. I'm gonna talk about it at the end. I will give you a long heads up for those who don't want any spoilers, so you can just skip that part and go to the material acquisitions without missing on anything else. But first we'll be talking about the other whips, so you're safe to stay here. I will warn you well in advance, so you know when to stop. So the first, as I already mentioned, I finished 1 pair of socks, so of course I casted on a new one. I'm at the beginning, so this is my new pair of socks. I'm still at the beginning of this first one. It's the same pattern, basic sock stroke, and this time I'm using a new skein, new ball of yarn, and that's this one. Again, signature 4-ply by West Yorkshire Spinners, and this is called Blue Lagoon, and I believe it's part of their cocktail collection. So very nice, and on the sock it looks even better. I really like how the colors go. It's just 4 shades, but they're very nice. Blue, and this pair is for my friend. So it's going to be a Christmas gift. I knit my socks on 2.0 millimeter needles because I'm a very loose knitter. So you can see that they're super, super thin. And this time I cast it on 72 stitches because my friend's legs are a little bit wider. But when I typically knit for myself, I work on 64 stitches. So yeah, this is the first whip. Pattern is by Petra Kourilova, in case I forgot to mention it. Okay, that's the first one. Second is a pattern or object that you've already seen. It's the Golden Hole Shawl by Nicole Larkin-York, aka Common Thread. Yeah, Common Thread on Instagram. Let me just untangle some stuff. She's a designer focused on Lord of the Rings, basically. So a lot of her designs have names and, well, are inspired heavily by a lore of Lord of the Rings and Tolkien. And this is I believe her first official pattern that she published, and I had the pleasure to test knit it. So I made a version for myself. A golden hole is basically a hole for kings in Rohan, in the world of Lord of the Rings. And she basically got inspired by the motifs that are inside. And this shawl features seat stitch, these cables here. Oops, we have a dog approaching. What's going on? Okay, just a second. Okay, she's on the couch with me. So yeah, I was talking about the cables, and then it features this beautiful and super long border that looks like these amazing, like Celtic cables. So the cable, the border is knitted like how to say it, like it's not knitted in the same way as the rest of the shawl, but you start at one side and you knitted it all the way to the other side. So it takes a lot of time and patience, and I recently posted a stories on Instagram where I there was this picture of this border in progress, and Nicole reposted it with a note like, "Golden Hole Shawl, border knitters, I salute you," something like that. So that gives you a good idea of how long does it take to actually do it. And this is again a shawl that I'm knitting for a friend, and already for like 2 to 3 weeks I'm already here on this border, and I'm almost this is a mark of 3/4, so I'm almost at 3/4 of it, but I still have a lot of knitting ahead. But I want to finish it this month because we are meeting at the end of October, and I want to give her the shawl already, which means this is also the last time that you see it here live. Next time I might have pictures, but I hope that the shawl is already going to be with its owner. So yeah, Golden Hole shawl. About the material, I'm knitting it from Isager Jensen, which is a little bit on the rustic side, but it's still pretty pleasant. And yeah, I'm having a good time, and I'm patient. I'm just working through it, you know. So yeah, that's one of the whips that I have that will hopefully soon turn into finished objects. And I'm going to move it here on the other side. Okay, so moving on to whip number 3. Okay, this is a new cast on that I casted on at the beginning of September, maybe 3 weeks ago, I think. It's again a commission-ish for a friend for a cosplay. So I'm going to first show you the cosplay. Who seen Queen's Gambit? Beth Harmon and her, it's not her best, let's say. I really love this scene. It's super like free, but at the end, at the same time, you like see her destroying herself a little bit here. So yeah, she's wearing this cardigan, and a friend of mine cosplays this character. She already had some photo shoots in a beautiful dress. She wants to recreate this scene as well. So she asked me whether I can find and knit her a sweater. And I said, yes, I will. So let me show you what I got. Okay, let me show you the back because that's where you can see this beautiful pattern. Oh my gosh, this is just so pretty. I can't. I just want to keep this so bad. It's not my color at all, but it's like, aha! So yeah, and the sleeve. It's called Minu Cardigan. It's by Luisa Rehkopf. I found it on Instagram, on Ravelry, when I was looking for a pattern for a cardigan similar to what Beth has in the scene. So it's knitted top down. You start by knitting the back, I believe, then you knit the fronts up to the point when you connect it under the arm, and then you knit the whole body, and then you knit the sleeves and button band, which is not there yet for me. So I'm now knitting this. The only modification that I do from the original pattern is that the pattern has like balloon sleeves. I am decreasing a little bit here. Let me show you. I tried to incorporate decreases, so I'm like slowly narrowing two of these like rows here. We'll see how it will look like at the end. The deadline for this is also at the end of October, so I'm hoping to have this done maybe in a week, so I can send it in advance, so she can try it and give me feedback and, you know, feel comfortable in this. Oh, it's so nice. I really, really love this this pattern. I'm not going to tell you how it's done because it's obviously part of the paid pattern, but I might need this sweater for myself too. It's like, let me show you the back again because I'm obsessed. I'm like, I didn't expect this to be this nice. It's like, it's so clean and like satisfying. Anyways, as you can tell, I really like it and I enjoy knitting it. When it comes to material, I'm using drops. Flora, which is alpaca and wool. It's 65% of wool and 35% of alpaca, very soft, next to skin. And I paired it with kid silk by Drops as well, which is mohair and silk, I think. I believe so. Maybe I have yep. I have it here. 75% mohair, 25% silk. So the main color or the wool is like in this light pink, but I wanted to tone it even more, so this one is super light pink, or maybe just even like on the cream side. So they both together created this like very subtle pink shade. And I love it. I love it so much. I work on this one every day. I have some like plan that I need to fulfill in order to make this on time. So yeah, and it brings me a lot of joy, actually. I didn't expect to enjoy this cabled cardigan so much. Lately I've been enjoying a lot of a lot of different things. I always thought that my comfort zone is with color work, fingering weight, and lately I've been working with anything but fingering and anything but color work, and I'm so, it's so stimulating. It's like really nice. I don't know what's going on. So yeah. And by the way, these yarns are also new acquisitions. I bought them specifically for this project, but so we're not going to talk about them in the acquisition part, but they are part of this month's acquisitions. Okay, now we're moving to the fourth finished object, which is the MCAL, Go-Go Dynamo. But before you turn it off, before you skip it, for those who want to, I'm going to talk about the material, which is also my acquisition, so you're still safe to stay here. First off, this year's shawl, mystery shawl, features only 2 colors, but you need 200 grams of each. And before I show you the yarn, I'm going to give you a little story because it's really nice. I wasn't sure if I'm going to join at first because last year's MCAL took me a long time to finish, and I finished it somewhere around May or June, I believe. So I'm still pretty satisfied when it comes to MCAL knitting, which means new techniques, very involved, knitting, not mindless. And it was still quite like, yeah, I didn't feel the need to go that way anytime soon. But in the same time, I like the social aspect. I really love to watch, other people's color combinations, etc. So I enjoy participating in the MCAL. So I decided to make like a compromise and participate, but with my stash yarn. I decided that I won't be buying anything new, which turned out to be quite complicated because I do have a lot of yarn in my stash, but either I have 100 grams, just one, skein, or I have sweater quantities, which means 3 to 4 skeins. And I don't want to split this sweater quantity just to use, 200 grams and have like 1 or 200 grams left because I wouldn't know what to do with it. So I was combining a lot, and then I ended up with like 2 skeins of some sort of like salmon colorway with 2 skeins with very similar skeins, not the same ones, of somehow like yellowish colored. And I was like, yeah, this is a very, very interesting color combination, but I think it might work. I posted it on Instagram, like, yeah, this is perhaps my only option. And I was contacted by lovely Katarina from Prague, and she offered me to send me some of her leftovers, or like not leftovers, but stash yarn that she doesn't see herself using because she's not into those colors anymore. So we ended up exchanging pictures. I asked her about what her favorite colors are right now, and I picked some yarn from my stash and we exchanged yarns. I sent her some Nutident and some other yarn, and from what she sent me as picture, I picked two pairs of skeins, let's say, a gray and a pink one, which I really, really loved from the picture. I didn't see the etiquettes, I didn't know the contents. Maybe she mentioned it, but I didn't see the labels. And then the package from her came like a few days later. We sent it very quickly to each other, and I unwrapped it, and the yarn she sent me was linen quill from Purl Soho. Yeah, these. I'm still really emotional about this. Way before I started knitting, I discovered Purl Soho blog, and I was a big crocheter at the time, so I looked at the patterns that they had for crocheted objects, but I really loved their patterns in general, even the knitting ones, even though I wasn't knitting at the time. And of course, I scroll through their shop as well. And to me, the Purl Soho shop was something really unachievable in a way that it's from US, which means that yes, the yarn itself, it's not particularly expensive, but in order to import it here, you need to pay taxes. So first of all, it takes time. Second of all, you need to pay extra. So I always consider this like, yeah, maybe one day I will fulfill my dream and buy something from them. And then these 4 skeins, like 2 out of each, found their way to me as a swap. And I just still can't believe it, because it's like dream coming true in the most unexpected way. So thank you again, Katarina, for this, because it just exceeded all my expectations in all the possible ways. Like the colors, beautiful, the feel, little rustic because it has linen. Okay, let me yeah, I might tell you what the contents are. Oh my gosh, this is just overwhelming. It's 50% Highland wool, 35% alpaca, 15% linen. So it's yeah, it's very interesting, soft, but also a little bit. It has linen, so you can tell that it's a little bit like rustic, but more soft. I don't know how to explain it. I'm blabbing. Anyways, yeah. These are so amazing, and when I received them, looked at them, I had no choice but to cast on the MCAL with those, because I felt like this is somehow a destiny. I don't know. It feels a little bit like, yeah, like a cliche, but yeah, it's yeah, it's meant to be. Let's just say it. I decided that it's meant to be. So now I'm going to show you the progress on the end cowl. For those who don't want to see it, please skip it to material acquisitions. For those who are already done with clue 1, or you just don't care and you don't mind spoilers, stay here. I'm going to show you the progress that I have in 3, 2, 1 now. So I'm not done with clue 1 yet, but I am somewhere here. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, this is my clue 1 so far. I have a very short cable, so let me just show you one section. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the construction, because you can find it in Steven's video tutorials anyway. So the construction so far is really interesting. The techniques so far are okay. Nothing new for me, but there is this section that I still haven't finished, and I think there is some sort of dip stitch or something new. So it's not that it's not interesting. The construction, you start by making these half circles, and you make 3 of them separately. So you end up having like 3 little mini shawls, and then you knit this garter stitch triangle between them to connect them. So you end up having these like and then you continue with already like throughout the whole length by another section, which is like perhaps like this white. So maybe I'll finish it today or tomorrow, and I will be well on track with this, which is surprising. I have a lot to knit. I have the commissions, so I didn't expect to be as quick as I need for this cowl, but so far it's really enjoyable. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm using the yarn that I've been sent. These are the second skeins from these colors, and it's perhaps not as contrasty that I expected. Sorry, wrong side, this. Oh, it looks better here. Yeah, so you can still see the pattern, but in the same time, it's quite subtle, which I like. And somehow this is my new favorite combination. This is perhaps the third or fourth object already that I'm making from like pink and some sort of black gray combination, and I really like it. So yeah, maybe we're saying hi to my new favorite color combo. Who would have guessed a few weeks, months ago? Anyways, it's my progress. Look, I'm excited about what's coming next. Today is Monday, so in 3 days, on Thursday, we'll get Clue 2. So yeah, I better get finished with this one so I'm ready for the next one. Yeah, that's it. That's all from my whips, my active whips, and some of the acquisitions that I've put in work right away. I still have a few more, so I'm going to show you right in the next section. And here we are for the acquisitions. Apart from the linen quill and the drops yarn for the Minu cardigan, I have 2 more acquisitions. Let me start by the smaller one, and that's this beautiful skein from Kaywiknit, a dear friend of mine. She launched a monthly subscription where she offers her yarn, and every colorway is a surprise. This is September colorway, I believe. It doesn't have any name, but it's a sock yarn, 75% wool, 25% polyamide, I believe. It reminds me of one Critical Role character of Chester. I don't know why, but it's really beautiful. Looking forward to knit with it, and I actually love the fact that it matches her logo. It's yeah, that's fun. So yeah, that's the first acquisition, and I basically subscribed for a full year. It was part of our barter against the sweater that I made for her. So I'll be receiving these for 12 months, and this was the first one. So you will see more of this very soon, every episode basically. And the second acquisition is something I didn't plan, but at the end I'm super happy that it happened. One day last month, my friend called me from Norway. She was on holiday, and it was a video call, and she started talking to me, and she was like, yeah, I'm in this yarn store, look. And she started showing me all those shelves full of beautiful local yarn. I was like, I'm not ready for this, please don't. I'm not ready to resist. And I didn't manage to resist. So I picked some yarn online on phone with her, and she bought me 4 skeins that I will turn into a striped sweater. And maybe a disclaimer at the beginning, I noticed when she brought it that one base is different than the other ones. It's different weight, but it's close enough so I can still use it. Let me show you. I mean, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. So 3 of them are in this Tinde base, and I don't know what the name of the company is. Maybe it's this Norsk Spelsulgarn or Hillesvag Ulvaren Fabrik. I'll find out, and I'll put perhaps some more details in the description below. But yeah, this is the first colorway. Beautiful. It shows a little bit colder on the camera than it is in the reality, but beautiful, like chocolate brown. Then I have this copper brown too, and I think the names are quite like, yeah, this is Rodbrun. I reckon it's brown red, something like that. The first one was mörkbrun, and I think mörke means darkness, so like dark brown. Then I have this gray-ish with, it's a little bit like creamish gray, which is called Lis Rödlich Beige, so it's like, yeah, beige. I'm butchering the names, by the way. I'm well aware. I'm very sorry. I believe it's like the pronunciation is completely different, but yeah, sorry. And this is the only one that's like a different base, but it's very similar, and it's red. So yeah, 4 skeins in total, all 100% wool. What am I doing? This is how it looks like, and they're so beautiful. So yeah, my future sweater. They're rustic, but also very nice. And they scream local Norwegian yarn, and that's what's most important. So it's a souvenir that my friend brought me, that I didn't plan to buy, but it happened. And I think it's important to sometimes just go with what makes you happy. So yeah, that's it. That's what makes me happy. That's another episode of fiber goodness and fiber joy. Today, by the way, is October the 7th, and yeah, we'll well into autumn. So my knitting mojo is over here. I really have a need to knit every single day, and I spend every free moment knitting, which I still have a lot of free moments now that I'm still searching for a new job. But I'm also working on some cosplays, so I'm kind of distributing my free time between knitting on like commissions, knitting for myself, and working on cosplay. So my creative spirit is now completely unleashed, and I'm working on manually on crafting basically maybe 12 hours a day now, if I'm not working on online content. And this is a paw, but here is Princess Cyrilla, my dog. She's lying on a sofa next to me, and right now she just turned herself belly up, and she's not lying like a lady at all. She's like this. Maybe I'll put a picture here because she's doing it very often, so you can at least see what am I exposed to on a regular basis. Nightmare, nightmare. I'm just kidding, she's really cute. My best friend. Anyways, that was it. I will stop talking because I'm just drifting somewhere. I'm really happy that you stayed with me for another episode. I will be recording next one in a month to show you what is going on. Hopefully I will have some more of the MCAL, and I might also pick up some of the old projects that I started and put on hold because of, you know, things that I'm working on now. It would be nice because there is a lot of hibernating stuff which is here right in front of me on the shelf, so I feel a little guilt now looking at it. Anyways, enjoy the autumn, enjoy the sweater weather to the fullest. I hope we'll still have some sunny days, although cold and windy, but it would be nice. And I'll see you in November to talk about October stuff. Yeah. Have a great day. Bye bye.